What is up, YouTube world? It's your boy, Etard Adventures. We are out here on La Fonda today. I tried to go live a few days ago. Bear with me with my voice. But we got the KP Mini out here, KP Mini 150. I told some fellers on Facebook that I'd be going live today to do some tips and tricks on wheeling the KP Mini. I'm not in the ideal parking lot. If I can show you around here, there's a lot of gravel. I would recommend a better parking lot than what I'm at, but the parking lot I usually stunt in, there's still workers working there, so I cannot stunt from that parking lot until they're gone. What's up, fan? TCM Outdoors. We should have some Facebook people rolling in here tonight because they want to learn how to wheelie this bad boy. They got KP Minis. I've been getting a lot of comments on YouTube on, hey, I can't get my KP Mini to come up. It won't wheelie. What size sprocket should I run? Well, my sprockets on my KP Mini are bone stock. Never changed them. They're the ones that I've got that come on the bike when I got the bike 2 years ago and rode that bike from California to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I've not had a problem whatsoever with the sprockets. She'll wheelie in bone stock form. I still got the factory carb. I still got the factory exhaust. All I did was cut the exhaust down. And then I put our stunt cage that we build on the bike. If you want one of those, get with me, leave a comment down there, or find me on Facebook. Etard Adventures, you can find me there and send me a message. And then we installed a handbrake on the bike. You definitely need a handbrake if you're going to run a 12 bar. No problem. I'm super early tonight, but I got to go on early so I can get to bed so I can wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. So here we are. KP Mini 150. It's got different tires on it than what it come from the factory. That's pretty much it. That's only aftermarket stuff besides our stunt cage and our handbrake setup. I want to wait for a couple of more people to come in with off the KP Mini forums on Facebook. And so I could show them the handbrake setup. The last time I went live, nobody could hear me because it was synced to my helmet. I got the stunt helmet out. We're going to try to rip you a couple of wheelies out here in the parking lot. I got to be super careful because there's gravels everywhere. And I'm in a spot that I usually don't ride in. And if you can look on the building, there's so many cameras. So there's a camera there. There's a camera there. And there's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 cameras down there. So I don't know how long I'm going to be here before I get ran off. My brother Bubs is in Florida hanging out at the beach. And I'm pretty dang jealous, to be completely honest with you. But he ain't getting to ride right now, and I am. So in your face, Bubs. So what we're going to do, I guess everybody will catch us on a replay because I don't know how long I got to ride here. So I'm just going to do it like everybody's already here. On the handbrake setup on the KP Mini. Basically, just a 1-finger pull off Amazon. Pull super easy. Nothing crazy there. You can even use your factory one to cut it down or whatever, however you want to do that. And then I'm running a 636 front brake, which would go on this side. It's a front brake flipped over and transferred over here off Kawasaki Ninja 636, but you could probably use whatever you had. This is just what I had, so that's what I ran, is this bad boy. And then you set it up where it's close to your clutch. So you can do the 2-finger deal here. You get 1 finger on your clutch, pop it up, and then you use your other finger as your to hold yourself so you don't flip over backwards when you're trying to hit balance point. Then just a little cheap eBay reservoir here. Super, super duper cheap. And then run your line from the reservoir to your lever. No big deal. Get you a custom line made or you can probably find one for a Grom online and just run it down. Bring you around here. You can see my line. It runs down. My bike's super dirty, don't judge me. My line runs down into my rear caliper, which is a dual piston caliper. Nothing special. It is actually off of a GSXR 750 front. It come off the front of a GSXR 750. So I just took that. You could probably find other ones to use, honestly, and just make it work. Because you'll have to get you a piece of angle. If you look here, mine's still rusty and crusty. But just a real big, I just took a huge thick piece of angle, drilled holes in it so this would line up, drilled a hole in there for my axle, and ran bolts and washers through it to make it work. So you'd lift your back end up off the ground, spin your wheel as you're hooking this up to get it tight to make sure it's not rubbing or anything. And then good luck bleeding them, because it takes forever. I don't know if it was just me, never did it before, but you got to bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed before that lever up here gets stiff. Before that sucker feels like a brake lever. It took forever on my bike to get it. But I'm running the stock sprocket. I don't know if you can tell. Stock sprocket on this thing, front and rear. Have not changed anything. And stock exhaust that we just cut down. We got a mod on the channel. If you want to check that out, check that out. We got a mod for it. I try to set up in the shade because I don't want my phone to overheat. I was killing wheelies last time and then the phone just cut off, so I don't know what was up with that. But I'm gonna get y'all set up on the old tripod here and actually get y'all, there's a bunch of gravel out there. So I'm thinking over here might be a good spot. Maybe. We will try and see. See how much range I got. So it's gonna go there to over there. It's not much of a spot for y'all to see wheelies, but y'all are gonna catch the drift of it. Anybody that just come in, if you're from Facebook, please let me know down there in the comments that my post worked and some of y'all are coming in. We're gonna jump on the KP Mini. You're gonna have to watch this on the replay if you wanna know about my handbrake setup, because I went over that first. But we're gonna get on the bike and show y'all a couple different scenarios on the wheelies and why you're not able to wheelie this thing. There's a couple reasons, and I'm gonna go through it step by step. Let me get my stunt helmet on, and we will get this party rocking. Hopefully we don't go to jail today. That's what I'm hoping. So we don't get caught out here riding this thing. Like the old American flag helmet. I prefer to ride, when I'm doing the stunt and stuff, I prefer to ride in the half face helmet just because my visibility is better. Roll suit up. Turn y'all around so y'all can see this sweet, sweet American stuff. Yeah. But yeah, been getting so many comments and it's hard to respond to the comments on older videos of the KP Mini stuff. So I just figured, hey, I'll just direct everybody that's wanting to know to this video. And instead of typing out pages and pages to people on how to pop a wheelie on a KP Mini. You know, basically, all you do is you rev that sucker up and dump it. You dump it, and then you catch it with your brake. Let me turn y'all around, and let's get this show on the road. Let's see if we can't pop out some wheelies here for you. So from Facebook, leave it in the comments. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out. And it makes us able to where we can do more videos like this. So I'm gonna do a couple of slow first gear wheelies, and then I'm gonna shut the bike off and talk to you and give you some tips and tricks on how to do slow first gear wheelies. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna hit the brake to bring the front end back down. That's what you wanna do. You wanna ride that brake. You're gonna pump it up. When it comes back too far, hit the brake. Bring it back down. Then you're gonna get to where you are riding that brake, and you'll be able to carry your wheelie longer. Instead of just slamming the brake on, just barely touch it, only when you need it. Let's show you one of those. Sit down. Nice and smooth, real easy on the brake. You want to be real easy on the brake, and then you can just carry that wheelie. First gear, sit there. That's how you do those. Now let me talk to you for just a second. Spin you around here. All right. So there's a couple tricks and a couple of tips that I can give you when it comes to popping a wheelie on these KP Minis. One, if you're popping a wheelie and your bike's leaning left or right when you're popping your wheelie, and you have a hard time keeping your balance from side to side, not front to back, or up or down, should I say, you can let some air pressure out of your tire. If your tire's pumped up super hard, it's gonna make it wanna go from side to side Very easy. It's going to want to do this real easy while you're on a wheelie until you get it figured out. So you can lower your air pressure down, and it's going to make the tire, when you pop a wheelie, not completely flat, but lower to where the stability from side to side is, there's not that much room for air. It's going to want to stay straight. It's going to want to stay up until you get the feel of getting balance point and actually carrying that wheelie. Then you can up your air pressure. Now when you're doing slow wheelies and you're using your stump pegs that we make, you can lower the air pressure down, and that will help you. Same thing with the side to side. Now on my KP Mini, I don't know if it's that way for every KP Mini, but when you are riding these wheelies, on mine, if you got your fuel all the way on or on reserve, it wants to cut out because it's carbureted. You got the bike up so high that it's spitting and sputtering, and you do not want that when you're riding a wheelie. You will wreck. You will wreck. What's up? If your bike is spitting and sputtering when you're on a wheelie, you will wreck, guys. 100% hands down. Here comes a Jeep. Thank goodness it's a Jeep, not a cop. So what you're going to want to do, this is what I do on my bike, is I almost turn the gas all the way off. Don't know why it works that way. It just works that way. So down here, if you have it completely sideways, it's off. So what I do is I just turn it off, and then I crank it back up just a hair, just like that. That way when I'm doing wheelies, slow wheelies, or I have the bike way up high, it's not gonna spit and sputter and then me eat shit out here, if you know what I mean. Guys, if y'all are coming in from Facebook, thank you so much. Check out the beginning of this video after we're done, after this live stream's over, and you can see my handbrake setup, and I went over the bike and what I have done to the bike on the beginning of the video. So, air pressure. Lower your air pressure if you're falling side to side. Turn your gas almost off so it does not cut out while you're riding a wheelie. The low air pressure is going to be one of the max keys. Another key for me when I'm doing stand-up wheelies and I'm trying my circles, I'm still not the best at circles, but when I'm trying circles, guys, is to turn your idle up. Your idle screw on the side of the bike. You want to turn that sucker up. So you'll hear me when I start my bike right here in just a second. It's idled down still, like when I rode here to the stunt spot. It's idled down, but you're going to turn that idle up. I think on my bike I run it about 4,500 to 5,000 RPMs with the idle up. That way you're not having to give it much gas. It's wanting to carry the wheelie, and then all you're doing is riding your handbrake setup. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm doing is I'm revving, popping, and then my middle finger, this is my clutch finger, as you can tell. This is my brake lever. This is what I'm using for my brake. So pop the clutch out. When it comes up, you're catching it with your handbrake to keep the wheelie up. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna flip the camera back around. I'm gonna start the bike up. We're gonna get the idle adjusted up, and then we're gonna do you some first gear, slow wheelies and first gear with the idle up. And every time you see my bike, when I pop a wheelie and you see it doing this, that's me tapping the handbrake to keep the bike up. I'm not giving much throttle. Basically, the motor is doing all the work for me, and I'm just using my brake, pretty much. So I'm gonna flip y'all around, get the old KP started, and we'll see if we can't. I gotta be careful because there's some loose gravel and stuff out here, but I'm gonna try to get kind of close to the camera right in this area, and see if I can't bust y'all off some slow wheelies and some circles. So let's get it. Turn that tighter circles, you need to raise the front end of the bike up more to get your tighter circle. You want to bring the front end of the bike up more, and then it'll lean over more into a tighter circle. That was when I was first trying circle wheelies, which I'm still not that good at them. I'm still practicing. When I was first trying circle wheelies, I could get it to go almost 180 degrees, but I'd always set the bike down because I didn't have the front end high enough. Bring that front end up to you, and it'll just fall in there, and then just get confident with doing that. But I've been hearing about people can't do second gear wheelies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch the parking lot here, and I'll come around here and make sure I can get me in camera, popping the bike up in second gear and just riding a sit down second gear wheelie. And then we'll do a stunt peg second gear stand up wheelie on the KP Mini. And with the second gear stand up wheelies or sit down wheelies, you can run it with high idle, but you don't have to. I'm gonna bring you over here and point you up this gravelly, bumpy ass parking lot like this. Hopefully y'all can see. I mean, I ain't gonna be able to ride super duper far wheelies, but you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about. Let's see here. That should be good. Face you out that way. I don't know, that's probably what, 20, 30 parking spots, something like that. But I'm gonna turn my idle back down on the bike to show you don't need high idle to ride second gear wheelies. And if for whatever reason you cannot get them to come up in second, which I can, it's pretty easy, pop it up first and shift to second. I'll show you one of those too, but first let's do a sit down. Basically clutching the bike up, catching it with your brake, guys. A lot of practice, progressing. The best way to progress is to have a riding buddy. That way y'all can progress together. You kind of push each other to do longer wheelies. Now, let's go a little bit harder, popping it up in first and shifting into second gear and carrying the second gear wheelie out. So we're in first gear. Going from first gear, clutching the bike as it's trying to come down, clicking into second, letting out the clutch and getting back into the throttle. The same way, going second and third. See if I get a second and a third. doing a lot to these bikes. It's not hurting these motors. Way of popping these wheelies, guys, but in order to get good at wheelies, you got to get out and practice wheelies. It's all about seat time. It's all about getting the feel of your motorcycle. Being one with this unit, it helps. Like I said, my KP Mini is bone stock jetting. The only thing different with mine than a completely bone stock one is my handbrake setup and my exhaust mod, which is just the exhaust cut down. That's it. Stock sprocket, front and rear, and it's got an aftermarket chain, which all y'all should already have an aftermarket chain. But it makes it super easy when you see another KP Mini wheelie like this, because then you know it can be done. You just gotta grow a set of cojones and clutch that sucker up. But always cover your brake. What me and Bubs Vacation like to tell people when we're doing this stuff, riding wheelies on these, is rule number one for riding a wheelie, cover your brake. Rule number 2 and 3 is the exact same. Cover your brake, period. You gotta cover your brake. If you get a stump bar and you do not have a 12 bar, you can ride with 1 foot on the back peg and 1 foot working your foot brake. Just get used to the handbrake situation before you just go out and rip. But that's why we have a stunt cage on these bikes, because I've dropped mine I don't know how many times. I got KLX 110 bars, Pro Taper bars, and my sub cage, and my plastics still look good, and I have not broken anything on my bike, and it has been down multiple times. Trust me, multiple times. So I'm gonna turn the idle back up, bust out a few circles for you guys, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. And I hope this helped any of you. If it did, if any of these tips or tricks helped you, please let me know down in the comments on YouTube. Let me know that you watched this much of the video. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, tips and tricks on how to do rolling burnouts, how to do donuts, tips and tricks on how to do stoppies, how to do nose wheelies, any of that stuff, let me know in the comments, and we'll start doing a video a week like this where I just come out and go live and rip for you guys for a little bit, because it's fun for me, and I'm glad that there's such a large KP Mini community out there now that's blowing up, because for as long as I can remember, we're the OGs on the KPs, guys. That's why we build these sub cages, and we've had these bikes for a while. We're riding the old 2018 models, older 2018 models, and I've not had to change anything with my forks, anything with my rear shock. This thing is bone stock, and your boy's 250 pounds, and I can rip on this thing. Like I said, we rode it 3,000 miles from California to Tennessee. The only problem we ever had of the bike was the chains. That's it. Was chain problems. Fortunately, American Life hooked us up with several sets of chains to get us back to the house. And we changed those on the way. If you hadn't checked those video series out, you can probably see it in the KP Mini section of my videos, or Go check out Bub's Vacations channel. He's got a lot more of the ride across America. But y'all don't want to hear your boy talk. You want to see me ride. So let's get a couple more circle wheelies in, and then we're going to call it a wrap. Thank you for coming in. If you're watching this on a replay, much love. Sorry I didn't catch you live, but you know, it is what it is. You're watching it now. That's all that matters. Well, guys, I think that's going to include this video. That's a wrap. Got a lot of fond out here. If y'all like that video, please smash the thumbs up button. Leave me some comments down there knowing that you watch. And like I said, if you want more videos like this, all the people out there in the KP Mini community, please let me know. I do not care to come out and rip for y'all guys and show y'all some tips and tricks. Hopefully, in part 1 of this video, you got some tips and tricks. When my brother-in-law, Bubs, comes back in town, because he's on vacation, maybe we'll get some long street wheelies for you guys, sit downs and stand ups, and show you how we do those, because that's a whole different ball game on the KP Mini than the slow stuff. The fast stuff is a different ball game. But much love, guys. Thank you for coming in. If you're watching this on replay, much love. And until next time, peace. Peace. KP Mini, KP Mini, KP Mini got the KP